Hello, I'm David Ewing Duncan, and I'm at the 2016 BioInvestor Forum. It's a pleasure to welcome John Glasspool, who is Executive Vice President and Head of Corporate Strategy and Customer Operations at Baxalta US. So, John, I was at your panel a little bit earlier today. You're talking about...
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm talking about PDUFA 6. So explain to us just for a second, what is PDUFA?
So PDUFA is the Prescription User Fee Act, which actually funds the FDA in the work they do to approve new medicines.
Okay, and it's number 6, so it's been around for a while. What's new about this reauthorization that's coming up in Congress, I guess next year, right?
It'll obviously, now we're in the technical phase, it'll actually go into law September 2017. What we hope and what we think will be patient-focused drug design, so really understanding what is going on with the patient versus the standard of care, and how do we embed patient-reported outcomes and other insights from that work in the clinical development programs. It'll also then link that to structured benefit risk. And I would say the third key exciting element is really a commitment by the FDA to get out guidances on real-world evidence.
So I guess there was a letter that came out between the industry and FDA this summer. So presumably the industry's on board with this. How is this going to affect the industry that's different from, I guess, PDUFAs of the past?
No, I think the industry are very much on board. I would say in terms of how the FDA functions, there's a lot of improvements in staffing and other elements because, yes, we need things from the FDA, but they have to be appropriately resourced to do it, and I think we're comfortable PDUFA 6 will do that. But I think that from an industry perspective, the excitement is that move to patient-centered drug design, going beyond randomized controlled trials to real-world evidence, and really making sure that the new ecosystem for drug development is rooted in patient centricity.
So much I would like to talk to you about that, but let me just ask a final question here, because we only have a short time, which is how the election that's coming up might affect PDUFA and some of the other interests that you have and the industry has.
Yeah, no, well, I think, of course, the election's an interesting one. I'll certainly be rooted to it on November 8th. But I think the key thing is to take a step back. I think the election will clearly have some effects, but I would say if we keep our focus on developing and delivering patient value, that patients can recognize, that we can clearly show Congress of what we're doing, then I would say the impact should be relatively limited. What I would say is there is a possibility for transparency acts to come into play, but we'll have to see what happens, not just with the presidency, but also with the Senate and Congress.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting moment. Anyway,
it certainly will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.